everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Art by Julie E. I'm Julie E, and this is a collaboration with Nate's Art Lab, his Patreon group, and we are to create, that's our assignment this month, is to create a sweet treat inspiration with Christmas candies and baked goods and all that fun stuff, you know, Christmas dessert. I love peppermint bark. Love it, love it, love it. And as you saw there, my cat loves the wrappers from it too. Anything mint and he goes after. So being that is what inspired me, I'm going to do a resin project. I've got a mold there that is for a tray, and we're using Luvz resin. It's a 2-part resin. This one is a casting resin, so it works great in molds, cures pretty solid. And what we're going to use is some Alumilite dye for the deep brown color, and we're going to add some sparkle to that with some salted caramel resin pigment from Color Art. It's called Resin Art, and yeah, I use salted caramel in that. And you see, it doesn't take much of the dye. It doesn't take much at all. Just 1 drop is what I got for this color, but I end up adding a couple more drops. The Luvz resin is a 2-part resin. There's a part A and a part B. You measure it by volume, not by weight. So you want equal parts, otherwise your resin can kind of flop on you. Now, as you'll see here, it doesn't take much of this pigment. It's just 1 itty bitty little scoop. I wouldn't even say it's 1/4 teaspoon. Probably less than a 1/4 teaspoon. But there it goes, and that's all I'm going to add. And wait till you see the shimmer and sparkle that just adds to the piece. So my mold fits 500 milliliters, and so we're just mixing up 250 milliliters of our dark chocolate for the bottom of our tray. And yeah, I love that spatula. It fits in these cups just perfectly. I can really get around and scrape the sides and the bottom really well with it. Mixes really nice. I did have to add a couple more drops, just 2 itsy bitsy little drops to my resin to make it a little bit darker, deeper. It was looking more like maple syrup. I want it to look more like deep dark molasses. So here we go, trying to get that dark chocolate look, and it goes really, really well. Now, once it's all poured in, first we gotta spray the mold with some isopropyl alcohol. I'm using 99% isopropyl alcohol in that little spray bottle. What that does is it helps so that you don't get a lot of bubbles along the edges of your mold. It kind of, I don't know what you call it. It just helps. I'm sorry, you guys. I got a little bit of fibromyalgia brain fog going right now, so it's hard. Words be hard today. But yeah, the spraying your mold right before you pour your resin with a little bit of alcohol mist does help reduce the bubbles along the edges, sides, corners, and crevices. So what's nice about a casting resin is that it is thinner than your art resins and everything, so it releases the bubbles a lot easier. But I still made sure to go over it with my heat gun just to make sure to try and get rid of all the little micro bubbles that could still be in there. Now I am placing my handles in and making sure they're level, and then we're going to cover it for overnight to let that solid up before we go ahead and we pour our next layers on. And in the next layer, I am using TLP Latte and some Casting Craft white to color my resin with. And the peppermint pieces are actual real peppermint. I took about 20 candy canes and smashed them to bits and then laid them all on the shiny side of freezer paper. and sprayed them with Kamar varnish. And then once that dried, I shuffled all the bits around and sprayed it again. And I did that about 5 times just to make sure that the candy cane bits were completely coated in Kamar varnish, because I didn't want the resin, the heat and the moisture of the resin and any of the chemicals in the resin to make that pink dye in the candy bleed out into my resin. So that's why I sealed it as well as I could with the Kamar varnish before applying all the pieces of the peppermint. I did not want pink chocolate. I wanted white chocolate on top. So, and here I go again. I'm squishing it all up along to the edges of the mold, making sure that we get all the bubbles free from the edges of the mold. And I will hit that again with the heat gun once everything is down and apply the peppermint pieces. Now, they're still going to be kind of chunky, which is okay because it just kind of gives it kind of a geode look, a peppermint geode look. I like how it came out. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm laying down my peppermint on the first layer, and then we're going to go ahead and pour what was left in my container over the top of this for our second layer. We're not letting it dry in between now. It's just this way, it's just easier, I thought, in my opinion, to get all the pieces covered equally. I didn't really want to put it all in the resin and then stir it and coat them all and get my resin full of all kinds of air bubbles and end up with chunks where I didn't want chunks and everything. So yeah, I did it this way because I'm a control freak. I don't know what else to say. Here we go. Here comes the other layer on top, and it's looking delicious, isn't it? I'm getting hungry just staring at this. Yum. Like I said, it's one of my favorite sweet treats at Christmas. So yeah, it's making me very hungry. But after we get this all done, we're going to cover it and let it sit for a few days just to make sure it's completely cured, and then we will go ahead and demold it. I make sure that my heat gun does not go up over 250 degrees, but I want it close to 250. I think that's the perfect temp for my heat gun to pop bubbles without scorching it. And here we go with the demold. And while we're demolding, I want to remind you that I have a playlist down in my description for everyone that has participated today in the Art Lab collaboration. Please go into my description box and click play all so you won't miss any of the other wonderful artists that have participated in today's collaboration. And yeah, getting it all loosened up. This is the fun part. This is the fun part, the demold reveal. And I think it came out really cool. Look at that. Can you see how it's got that dark chocolate on the bottom? Yum. Yum, yum, yum. So I still will need to pour a clear coat over the top of this. I will seal the bottom with, what is it called? It's called Monster Skin. It's a liquid latex. And I will put that all around the bottom and then pour a clear coat on top of that, on top of the peppermint part. I'll put the Monster Skin on the bottom on the brown part. And yeah, once that's dry, then I will put these little rubber sticky bumper feet on the bottom of my tray, so that way, in case, you know, sometimes if you put a resin tray on like a glass table or something, it tends to want to fuse itself to it. So the nice little bumpy feet help that to not happen. And yeah, look at that sparkle in there. Isn't that beautiful? That's that salted caramel. Just gorgeous. All those pretty gold speckles. And there you can see all the peppermint still. We made sure not to make it too dark So I hope you really enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. And yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the description. And remember to do the UB, 2B thingies, the likey, sharies, and subscribies. Oh, here's my cat Taz, showing you how much he loves the smell of peppermint.
Ow! God, you bit me, you silly. Hey, it's mine now. No, I'm gonna take it. Ow! Jeez, you're vicious. Hey! Ow! You're so mean. Let me have the wrapper. This is precious.
Loves and hugs, y'all. Bye.